Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Quad Radio's Quarantine Files. I'm Rodney Tomlin, along with Andrew Banovsky today from the College A GNCC ranks. And, of course, he's been around for a little bit. We've been watching him grow through the ranks. We're going to find out what his plans are, where he's been, and where he's headed. And, of course, not only that, we're going to take this opportunity right now to talk about the many fine folks that help bring things to you, including our friends at DP Brakes. I want to say thanks to those guys, Larry Mills and the guys. What's stopping you? The only thing that should be stopping you right now is your DP brakes. So make sure you've got those. Almost every rider that I know, that's the brand brakes they use. And that's the reason why DP brakes are so popular. Also want to say thanks to our good friends at Amsoil, the first in synthetics, our independent dealer, John Coffey. Now, if you don't know John, he is an independent dealer. Amsoil back on the GNCC sponsorship, so we'll be seeing those guys out. John Coffey can be your personal dealer. He can drop ship the stuff right to your house. We got all the details and information coming up here in just a few moments, as we'll be thanking those guys for their support. And we also want to thank XC Part Solutions, part of the Land Mills XC race team, and of course they offer parts there trackside at the GNCC, parked right next to the Parts Unlimited Moose Racing Transporter. And also just a special thanks to all of you folks in the GNCC Racing Nation for being who you are, where you are, and what you are. Big part of what we got going on. And if you are one of those folks that are out in the public and having to work, whether you're a first responder or your job requires that you be out in these trying times, we certainly wish you well and thank you for all the things and services that you provide to help keep America rolling. And speaking of America rolling, we're rolling here across Quad Radio USA, back into East Palestine, Ohio this week as we head up to Andrew Banovsky. I've called you Banovsky, sir, and I butchered that name, and I'm surprised you haven't just came up to me and said, man, just simplify it, make it easy on yourself, Banovsky. So, Andrew, nice to make your acquaintance, my friend.
Yeah, it's awesome being on here, actually. I've been following the page for a while, trying to follow up, seeing I was actually pretty interesting episodes, seeing some of the younger ranked kids that you've done and seeing some of the pro kids and stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting. So figure we give it a whirl and see how it went.
Yeah, I like keeping up with the pros and everything too, because that's where a lot of the fan base interest lies. But the heart of it all is right here. You guys, we've got, if we're lucky, we've got 20 guys on that front row, you know what I mean? And oftentimes we don't even have that many. But the brunt of everybody, what makes up the GNCC Racing Nation, is everyone behind that. Not that those guys aren't premier, not that they aren't elite, not that they don't deserve the accolades that we give them, but they're just a small part of a big operation. And Andrew, you're as well a small part of that big operation. And I know you've been around for a handful of years now. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
We started just in the A-Works series in 2012, and I had no idea that this was even a thing. I didn't even know that you raced quads when I was that little. I didn't even know that was a thing. And when my friends found out from back home, they told me about it. I was like, Dad, we got to try this. Dad, we got to try this. And we tried the A-Works season, and then, more people we saw the GNCC logo. We're like, wonder where they're from. And then we found out, how big it was. So we gave it a shot, and I think it was 2015. And then of course it was the Georgia Anonia Pass, that mud race that we had. That was the very first one we did.
Ooh.
And that made a difficult chance for me to really be able to try it out. And then 16, I moved up to the 450, and then we just handpicked. We did Ironman, Powerline, some of the bigger name ones that everyone's like, you got to come to this one, you got to come to this one, it's the best. And we did, and I had an absolute blast. At the time, it was the absolute best. It was the people there, the staff, yourself, everyone going there was just a very open, warming feeling when you first come into the series.
Isn't that amazing? You look at it, you read about it, you watch it on TV, you watch the stream, you hear people talk about it and you think, oh my gosh, and you do. What you walk into is something like you've never had an opportunity to walk into, but the familiarity that is there, the comfort level, the chill factor that you're talking about, it's pretty amazing for such a world-renowned event, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So how old were you whenever you made your first GNCC?
I was 15 years old.
So you were racing, were you in schoolboy at that point?
Yeah. That was my first one, was in the morning race.
So tell me a little bit about that first one. It was a mud race, you said. So
Whew.
what happened? I'm sure you remember it vividly, right?
Oh yeah. Well, even parking was a great memory, trying to park at the place. And then and like I said, at the time, I mean, I didn't know anything. I didn't know you could have walked a pro row. I didn't know about, how long the race was. I thought it was just an hour race. And my dad kind of just threw me on the quad and said, let's go, let's do this. And I did. And I mean, the track layouts of more local races was different. I mean, the track crew officials everywhere watching you. I mean, it's the people helping you jump in the inaugural mud fleas. I mean, it's just this weird, it makes you smile. It's just this vibe that you get in the series that literally just, it makes you want to keep coming back, and it makes you want to get more people to join into it. I mean, it's just what the best part about it is. But no, it just, I mean, all I wanted was a top 10, because there was a lot of kids in that schoolboy class. There always usually is. That's a very nice packed class. And I actually ended up getting, I think, 9th or 10th or something like that. I don't know. I just made it. But it was definitely, again, I came off the quad. All my dad wanted to see was just a smiling face, and that's all I did. I mean, I came off, I was pumped, I was happy. I was like, we got to do this again. And it was awesome. But went home, cleaned it up, and we talked about it. And next thing you know, we just started picking away and doing some more at them.
Started doing more and more, and then the next thing you know, you're a regular, right?
Yep, no, I'm a regular. 17 was my first full year that we attempted to do the first GNCC season.
So you got 17, 18. You got 3 full years under your belt now. So what did you progress after that? Did you go straight after that into the college class?
Well, I actually didn't want to do the afternoon race my first year at 17. I wanted to do the morning race, or I wanted to, go back to college B or something like that. Well, Dad convinced me again. He goes, and the best part I love about that is, like, I got my family behind me, my friends. I got friends. I got like Mark Notman and them, and I got like Ryan and BNR and all those guys. Like, dude, we know where you can ride at. We know where you should be at. So they threw me in College A, and it was miserable. It was a rough race for the first time in the afternoon race. It was rough.
College A?
Yeah. First
Wow.
race was in College A. That's where they threw me into. And then 17 was our bug year. We figured that out. There was, bike suspension. We were all new to the suspension and stuff like that with the floats in the air. And then myself not being in shape, hydrating, just the key essentials that make the year go smoother, traveling, it was hard with being in school too. But we ended up picking it up on it. And then, near the end of the season, when I finally hit my peak of shape in the middle of the year, I start doing good. And then, the season's over and that's it. So we've been trying to work on that more over winter, trying to stay in much shape as we can. So
what are you, about 19, 20 years old now?
20 right now.
20. So that's so you're out of school, at least public school. You in college now?
I just actually graduated tech school at Rosedale Technical College in Robinson.
Awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, so many people and so many folks have put such an importance on going to college these days that we've lost our special trades folks. And, we don't have a lot of people actually go out and do the work these days.
Yeah,
and and trade schools are, I think, a wave of the future in the way that and that's
Definitely.
where your jobs are going to be. There's no doubt about it. I mean, only so many people can program games, and only so many people can make new apps, and only so many people can sit behind a desk. Somebody's got to build the desk. Somebody's got to build the building that houses the office and all that stuff. So, I mean, we all can't go. So I'm happy, man. Way to go. Yeah. Way to go, dude. Way to go. So what was your trade, your skill?
Diesel technician.
Diesel technician. So you're going to keep an American rolling then, right?
Yep, we're keeping it.
I may have a 1976 tractor I need you to look at here pretty soon, buddy. I've been wearing it out here lately. It's an old Massey. Yeah, that's one good thing about this quarantine break that has kept me grounded, is the fact that I'm actually getting my place back around. I haven't been in my house in probably 3 years, going on 4 years, any length of time. And it doesn't take long for that stuff to get out of hand. So
it does.
I've been taking advantage of this time. There's no doubt about it. What have you been doing during this time? Are you working now, or what's going on?
Well, that's the worst part about the whole trade thing. When you're in that type of labor of, that type of area of field of work, we're the non-essential. So most companies are shut down right now, other than, like quick Jiffy Lube, stuff like that. Necessities do your oil change, but like the dealerships are still open. I was never a fan of dealerships, but like all the construction companies that I was supposed to be starting to work for, they're all shut down now. As I said, most of them around here, it's just dead around here. I mean, you got some fast food, you got Walmarts and stuff like that. But like I said, but all the other parts stores, shops, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, Ryan at B&R is 15 minutes from me, and like I said, he's been preaching as much as he can on the post about how sorry he is and how he's been staying on. God bless that man. Honestly, he hasn't left that shop, and ever since it started, he hasn't. He's been in there nonstop working with Ryan and Bert and all those other guys. And he's got his special hours going on, because I for sure would have thought he was going to go down. And I'm like, well, the season's over. We just lost our key to the parts and everything, because I ain't driving down to Waynesburg twice a week just to go get parts.
So the quarantine is actually helping the B&R a little bit. Then sounds like they're busy.
Yeah, they're staying busy. They're mostly I think the biggest thing he was stressing out about was the shipping part. The shipping is getting crazy, because that's all everyone can really do. But yeah, he's been, I mean, we've talked about it. He goes, it's nuts. He keeps telling me, he doesn't know if it's going to come back. He doesn't know if the season's going to start. That's the person I go to. I'm asking him like, hey, what do you think's going to happen? Are we going to be racing again? And he just goes, I don't know. It's crazy. And I'm just like, well, that was the best answer I could have gotten.
Right. And, I mean, as of right now, I mean, the word is we're going racing. I mean, as soon as things clear up, but I mean, we got to see where all this goes. I mean,
yeah, the real question is when.
Right, exactly. And I think for the benefit of worldwide, and not only US but worldwide, I mean, I think that we need to nip this thing completely before we actually start going back out and doing the things that we used to do. And I'll be honest with you, I'm suffering right now. I mean, I'm making a little bit of money, but not near enough that that I need to make. As far as the beauty of it is that they can't shut my electric off right now.
That's the best part.
Or my
we got
gas,
power or food, we're good.
So now that's a demon that I'll have to face a little later on. But
yeah.
But nonetheless, you'll figure out what I'm talking about one of these days, man. But anyway. So that's cool. So you are keeping yourself busy, though, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
Even though you're not working, you're staying busy.
It's been it's been a routine of tear down, clean the bike, and then you go, oh, there's some dirt there, tear it down even more, roll it outside, wash it. Just that's what we've been doing. I've been trying to ride up here as much as I can. It's kind of hard with social media and people post and stuff, and we're all like trying to be like, keep it down low. We can't be out here like quit, you're going to ruin it for us. Yeah, we were out riding around up in Newcastle. I have my property I was messing around at for a little bit. I have some friends, but worst part is most of my friends still live with their parents, and most of their parents are saying, yeah, hey, you're not allowed to leave. We can't let you leave. And I'm just like, well, I've had no one really to ride with lately. But I've had a lot of friends though keeping me in the loop and stuff from school. I've had great friends from up at Rosedale that have been through this whole journey with me through school and racing. They follow me every weekend watching it. But trying to dad work around the house, cleaning up the garage, taking care of the dog. It's just been steady in home, stay at home mom type of life right now, just trying to keep the house clean.
Stay at home mom. There's another thing. How many times can you wash the dishes? Didn't realize that a fork needed to be polished as much as you could polish one.
Yeah, really. I didn't realize I had that many forks in that drawer until I started cleaning them.
Well, I know. Wow. I don't even, I've had boys around the house, and like I said, thankfully they've been outside doing stuff. They eating me out of house and home. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I've gone through more milk. I'm gonna have to buy a cow, I think, just to keep the milk.
Sounds like my dad now.
But I was telling the Arnold boys I was talking to from the ATV motocross side of things. My boy, actually, they've gone out and they took my whole barn loft. They made it their loft. I mean, their apartment, studio apartment, basically is what they've done. I mean, they've got a tent set up for bedrooms. They got basketball goals set up. Well,
that's a wet dream. Wow.
Right. I mean, these boys are having a great time. And then my son, they don't have motorcycles. My son don't have a motorcycle, but at least, I mean, he does have a pit bike, like an SSR 125 or whatever. So he's been riding the the snot out of it. I think he finally broke something on it, so that'll quiet down for a couple days till I can get a bolt for it or something. But nonetheless, he's been keeping pretty busy. His imagination, I got to say, he's a lot like old Dad. Whenever he's faced with when he's faced with something, he can figure out something to do. I mean, my imagination. It was funny. I was talking to him about Tonka trunks. I said, you know how many bridges or how many whatever I've done, and then the imagination, the miles that I've driven in my imagination in those vehicles and those little Hot Wheels and things like that. It's just pretty amazing. And as I get older, I have to be more imaginative. What about you? Is your imagination starting to kick in for it? Are you doing silly little things that we see, like Adam McGill doing, whenever, because I mean, he's just one big kid anyway.
Oh, he's a giant kid. Yeah. I sit down every once in a while and I'll look at some of Adam's videos, and like I said, like Walker, I mean his video with him fishing and stuff like that he posted. I mean, like I said, this all just is a big circle that goes right back to GNCC with the way they are. I mean, look, everyone's staying high on life. They're staying positive about it. They're making the jokes out of it. I mean, everyone's staying positive. They're staying on top of it. I mean, they're taking it seriously, but they're not taking it so far where it's like, whoa, stay away. Like, what are you doing? I mean, it's great. But like I said, there's been a few times where I've been messing around. I just get that riding fever. I'm just like, I can't be cooped up in this house anymore. I'm like, I just can't be in here anymore.
So what's the craziest thing you've done? Just
not gonna lie, I've done a little bit of drinking lately. That ain't good though, but that's about it. That's about it. I mean, I'm not that crazy of a person. Throwing some darts in the basement with Dad, and had a beer every once in a while, and just sat back and think, is this ever gonna end? I don't know. But we got this to look forward to every night now. And I'm like, touche, and we just kept playing. So
there you go. Good bonding time with the old man. That's awesome.
It's good.
How's this whole thing affecting you? I mean, obviously your spirits are up. I mean, does it bother you? I mean, as a 20-year-old kid, we're looking at, I mean, like you're talking about all these companies and stuff that you're supposed to be doing work for. They're not even operating right now. The economy, has taken a huge impact. And though the federal government is there for the bailout now, if this thing goes on, I mean, they can't, it's not like the government can take care of us forever. I mean, there's going to be some impacts out of this. I mean, is that something that you're thinking about as a 20-year-old guy that's entering the workforce?
I mean, definitely coming out of school and trying to get to that job. And, the deal me and my dad made was, we can wait on the job, do the season. That was the whole deal that we did, race the season, and then you get the job, because once the job starts, you ain't gonna ever be the same with racing. So we did. But really sitting back, I mean, it's just like those events. It's like the Shell cracker plant that's right down in Monaca. I was supposed to start work there, but that didn't fall over too well for now. And it's just funny because, like, my dad even said, he goes, "You're a part of history." It's like the old steel mills in Pittsburgh. He goes, "You're a part of history if you work here." Well, it's like this event going on. It's history. It's something to really sit back, and it's actually kind of cool to be able to sit back and maybe one day sit down and look at my kids and go, "Yeah, I tell you what about that 2020, that virus." I mean, it's just one of them. It's pretty crazy. But no, the biggest part about it is every day when I sit up, I look at my dad. He says, and he wakes me up. He goes, "It's just keep a smile on your face, stay positive. It's just that's the only way you're going to beat this whole thing. Just keep your distance from people and just have fun with it." I mean, because it ain't affecting us as hard as we really thought. We were preparing for it, but we definitely we've been prepared for it, should say that, but it hasn't really affected us as hard as it has. Prayers are sent still to those people that get it and stuff like that. But we moved from Chippewa, like Patterson area, from over in PA to here about 2 years ago. And when we moved in here, I mean, the small town was awesome. I mean, that's why I always love small towns. I mean, and everyone down there was working together. I mean, we're all just coming together. I mean, there's people posting on Facebook, "Hey, Dollar General's got toilet paper. Hey, they've got this." I mean, but again, it's just great. And again, it's just like GNCC. I mean, you got everyone working together. Everyone stopped parting up together. I mean, really, to answer the question, it isn't really affecting me. I'm just taking life as it goes and just continue the day as it should go on. Not working, that does suck. Honestly, that's really what I wanted to start doing right now. I love spinning wrenches. I love being a grease monkey. I'm that little kid that gets in there. I love doing it. But, you just got to take the good with the bad and make the good out of it. And eventually it's all going to end. It will. And I hope it does.
I have to admit, as hard as it can be and as hard as it is, I'm trying to make the best out of this as well, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I get time to spend with my family that I wouldn't normally get to spend. I mean, I'm missing the racing. I'm missing working. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I miss being out on the road and doing the things that I normally do. But just to take this moment and not have any pressure, nothing breathing down your back, nobody, not having to be someplace or anything like that. I mean, yeah, you gotta say, okay, I got to make sure I got plenty of this and plenty of that. We're going to plant a garden. I mean, I'm getting back to old school me, before computers and before technology and all that stuff. And I've noticed that that's what's been going on a lot. I see a lot more ports sitting around here. How many times is it got to a point where they quit building front porches on houses because people didn't use them anymore. But around here they're starting to use the front porches, and families are enjoying time together, and it's something I think it's great. It's like Sunday afternoon in the 1970s or early 70s anyway, every day, at least
awesome.
for the last few weeks. And I think that is awesome, man. And I hope that you take a moment, and though it is the virus, that hope that we all can take something from this and say, hey, maybe we should have, maybe the whole country should shut down one day a week where all technology shuts off. No cell phone service, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. Just get back to the basics, maybe. Hey, I'm going to propose that in Congress. How's that sound? I've got nothing else to do.
I'll sign that one with you.
I mean, come on, we do right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's take a quick break. I want to get back with you. We'll talk about your future, the future of GNCC racing, how you see it, and a few other ideas that we may be able to come up with the chit chat and talk about in just a few moments. Quad Radio continues with Andrew Banovsky right after this.
Hi, I'm Walker Fowler, and this is a DP brake rotor. And these are DP brake pads. Larry Mills and DP Brakes have been a part of my program for over a decade. Recently, we completed the Heartland Challenge, a 10-hour ATV endurance race that is not only physically demanding, but demanding on my machine and my parts. That is why we choose DP brake pads. At the end of the race, we had 0 brake failures, and they looked brand new. If you aren't using DP brakes, what's stopping you? Literally.
Did you know you can save up to 25% and receive free shipping on great AMSOIL products with their preferred customer program? AMSOIL also has special pricing arrangements and free shipping for commercial accounts such as trucking companies, loggers, landscapers, and businesses like yours. Or if you have a business and would like to begin selling AMSOIL products, you could qualify to participate in the AMSOIL retail account program. You could become an independent AMSOIL dealer and build and grow your own profitable businesses. For more information, call John Coffey, your full-service AMSOIL dealer, at 877-694-4763 and leave him a message. John Coffey and AMSOIL, your first call for synthetics.
XC Parts Solutions is now available trackside at all GNCCs. Open Friday, noon till 6, Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. XC Parts Solutions is a Moose Racing and Parts Unlimited dealer with a great inventory of Moose Racing products along with needed parts for bikes and quads. If you need raincoats, they got them. Umbrellas, they got them. Elephant ears for those mud races, they got them. Dry erase boards and markers, they have those too. Come by for a great deal on a great selection of Moose goggles and tear-offs used by a number of GNCC racers, located on Vendor Row next to the Moose Racing Transporter. XC Parts Solutions can take orders at the track and it can be shipped right to your house. Late need orders for in-stock products received before noon on Wednesdays can be picked up at the track. Email xcpartsolutions@gmail.com, on Instagram @xcparts, or give them a call at 931-854-1100 or 931-261-2004. And don't forget, all racers will receive rider support pricing from XC Parts Solutions.
Impact Solutions is your factory-authorized Elka suspension dealer in the USA. Located in Little Hocking, Ohio, give them a call today for service, parts, warranty, and sales, as well as technical support, 740-989-2026. And be sure and give them a like on Facebook. Impact Solutions.
And welcome back to Quad Radio, the Quarantine Files. Rodney Thompson along with Andrew Banovsky as we are checking in with Andrew, getting to know him pretty well. Diesel mechanic, right? You just got out of trade school, getting ready to go into the workforce. College A rider, been racing that for the last 4 years or so. And I guess we'll start talking about the GNCC racing. So how is GNCC racing going for you? I know we've talked a little bit about it, touched on it and so forth, but right down to the wire, how have you won championships? Have you come close to winning championships? I mean, how's that all going for you?
Haven't even come close. Haven't even come close. We're in the hunt for it this year. We thought about it. We really sat down and talked about it. We wanted to, but 2018 at Camp Coker, I ended up rolling off the start in the second turn, and I messed up my left shoulder. And ever since then, it hasn't been the same. And we've been, therapy. We've been everywhere, and it just, I don't like using excuses. Most people always bust my nuts about like Mark and all those guys. They're always like, oh, there's no excuses. It's fine. Quit being a foosball. Come on. Yeah, and that's what makes me want to go out and keep racing. But we've round one was always the roughest round. It's always the one that everyone comes off break. You're not really into it. The mechanical problems, stuff like that. And I actually wasn't doing too bad. Got the whole shot, was leading, had a few mistakes on my part, lappers. And then, we ended up just going throughout the race, and just all I wanted to do was finish, and I did. And then we actually ended up having to skip Florida because I actually got sick. I got the stomach flu then. Kept that down up here. Didn't go back down south. We ended up going down to Durhamtown. Rode at Durhamtown for a while, and then we prepared for what would that have been, Georgia. Yeah, Georgia. We ended up going back to Georgia. Georgia was another one. We were preparing for a mudder. We thought everyone was talking about it. We thought it was going to be a mud race, and I love mud races. I prepped the bike, put the old plastics on, brought the old gear, brought the old stuff, got ready for it, and I get down there, and it was sunshine and beautiful, and it was the best, probably perfect conditions we could ever had. And well, and that one made me and my dad laugh when we got out of the truck and we looked at the ground and it was dusty, and we were just like, wow, that's crazy. So we ended up
isn't it crazy though? I mean, it just goes to show you what social media and that ought to be a prime example right there of how far-fetched and how off the wall social media can be, and you can't trust it. You can't trust what people say. So
can't even trust the weather nowadays.
No, really, exactly. But I mean, from what I heard, I mean, for 2 years in a row, Georgia's been underwater. In Pass has been underwater. How's it underwater when it's on top of a hill, people? I mean, come on, really? That's a big question that I've always, well, you can't even get in there. It's so full of water and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the guys were just there a few days ago. They said it's fine. But, I know somebody that lives up there, and they said that. So don't trust social media whenever it comes to track and course conditions and things like that. I mean, from a promoter standpoint, the track's always perfect. Conditions are always perfect. But I mean, there's a happy medium in there, and you just got to roll the dice. So it's just like I was thinking. On Tuesday, I'm like, man, I hope they cancel this. I hope they cancel this. And then I talked to a few people up there and said, oh no, it's not been too bad, really. So I'm glad we didn't cancel it. I'm glad that we did get to go, honestly. So. Had we not, I mean, where would we be right now as far as what the rest of the series is looking, the rest of the championships is looking like? So things are going okay. I mean, what were your finishes like? I mean,
they weren't anything to really talk about. They were just mistakes on my part. Something funny to go back and just look at the GoPro and watch. It was just I can't really get a break this year with the lappers and stuff, and just people just not paying attention, and myself not paying attention, and just looking down, not looking up. And it's the bugs that I got to fix. And even my dad and my friends have all said, he goes, dude, you just can't get a break. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I don't even DNF. I just can't get a break from the lappers and the people. But it's just stuff to practice on during the local races, like at the 8 Works. So I'm going to be running pro this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm really going to be practicing there with catching up to people, watching, paying attention, where that's going to carry over for the nationals.
Perfect, dude. That is exactly where I was headed. I know that you race other series. You mentioned the A Works. Are there any other series that you run?
We do. We try to do the CRAs just for seat time. Like the Big Valley's 30 seconds from my house. I could ride down there. There's some of the other ones that are around here, Hubbard, Ohio, Big Game, all those other ones. we just handpick those ones just for the hour race. But then, there's certain races we know, like, hey, we know this place that's going to be trashed or it's going to be rough. Let's just stay away from it because, they just throw it together. Great series, though, for seat time. We've tried out a few NECXCs before. Those are nice. IXCRs are just a further drive, but again, they're worth the drive. That's a fun weekend. If it's a double off weekend, we'll load up and we'll go do the IXCR. But no, it's really, we haven't really tried opening up and trying to find any other smaller series like that, but we've kind of just been trying to keep it to the same set that we can, running for points in all of them if we can.
Now, you've been racing GNCC for 4 or 5 years now. You've been a part of off-road racing, I guess. You've grown a little through it, and somebody from the inside there, from that perspective, what do you see, and how are you seeing GNCC going right now? Is there anything that you see missing? Anything that you'd like to see come along? Like any suggestions that you'd like to see the trail crew do, or the series do, or people do, or anything like that?
Honestly, there's not much you can change about it. Everything's perfect going in line for it. Find a way to make registration line not so long, that'd be great. But it's really just it's everything is all in all just perfect. They got enough track crew guys to help you. The pros are clearly liking it, the way everything's set up. Tracks are fine. Organization, pre-registration is perfect. The parking, there's nothing I could really complain about. Other than just the fight about not being able to race, but you can't blame them on that. It's just, again, that's a problem with the GNCC. It's such a bigger race. For someone's first time racing, I suggest the GNCC form, and I say, hey, why don't you come with me to this A-Works, or come do this, or I'll go ride. And I'll say, you know what, you need to go race the GNCC, and I'll put them right on it, because how else are you going to learn? You ain't going to learn from doing 30 local races and then doing a GNCC. It's completely different. You got to start somewhere. So
right.
That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, honestly. There's nothing I would change. It's perfect.
Nothing you would change. So what about the people? anything that you'd like to see different about the people that you race against?
I'd like to see them start slowing down more now. The people that I'm racing with, it's just a great set of kids. They're all my mindset too. They're all, either fresh out of high school, or they're going into college, or they're on their own, or they're just fresh first race racing College A. They're a great set of kids that I know of. Most of my friends that were with me already left. They moved up to the XC2. But we definitely think we can make a run for the rest of the year if this happens to turn over, which we know it will, and we hope it does here soon.
Right.
I just hope it.
I'm just going to look at the some of the riders in your classes. I know that College A class bodes some pretty big names in it, some pretty fast kids. I know last year.
Way down the list. You're going to have to scroll way down to see mine in there.
I know that the College A class, it sets folks up for that 250, or excuse me, that XC2 class. Cody Forrester, that's interesting. A 5.65, and he's second in points right now.
He came from A-Works with me. He ran youth, won the championship in youth, and then he moved up to A, I believe, or B first, and then I believe he's running either Pro-Am or Pro this year at A-Works. Great kid, again, super nice. I'm pumped for him. I didn't think he was going to commit to it, and I saw him the one day at the line. I'm like, is that Cody Forrester? I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, man, he's giving us a run for his money. The kid's definitely been putting his time in.
Yeah, no doubt. He's tied right now with Trey Seifert. Seifert has a 3, a 1, and a 12 right now. Grayson Eller, by the way, whom I did an interview with earlier in the right after Georgia, I think it was, or sometime maybe right before, sometime, I can't remember. I was down there at some point. But anyway, he had a 2-2-1. He won there in Georgia a couple weeks ago, so he's sitting with right now 58 points, and Cody and Trey with 47. Seth Wilson, another rider that I'm sure you're pretty familiar with as well. He's
been around with us for a while.
Dalton Keys, that's the kid that I was trying to think of. That Dalton Keys kid. He was one of the fast College B kids last year. He won round 1 at South Carolina, backed it up with a 15th in Florida, but came back and got second place in Georgia. I see also Chase Allison, 9 and 11 and a 3. Wow, man, you've got a deep pool of talent, deep field of talent here right now. That's some. Right now, not, even if you had good races in the beginning of the year, Andrew, I think that it's tough to maybe get in the top 5 right now in this class. I mean, that's just how I think stacked that class is.
Yeah, it's that's the one thing I look forward to. There's always either new kids that come in to try out the class, or it's the same kids, which is awesome. But like, I could prepare myself 100% the same level that any of the pro guys are, if I could even get to there, and I wouldn't change.
Oh, sorry about that. A little technical difficulty. I'm going to leave that in because I know we were talking about some pretty good stuff, but you got some pretty stiff competition, like we were saying. I mean, the riders in your class, I mean, it's tough to finish even a top 5 in that class, I think, at the end of this year. If you got that, it may not be the national championship title, but it will be a good bragging right.
It's definitely something we want to look forward to. We've had our first goal 18 in 2017 and 18. We followed up was always the top 5, was always top 10, and then we moved. And we realized when I got my first top 5, which was third, I was actually one spot off right behind Tyler Swindle from getting up on the amateur overall podium at Mount Morris in 2018, and that was a big motivational push for me. And after that, it was just Tomahawk. It was a bunch of other ones that were top 3s, top 5s, stuff like that. And then, like I said, we just hit that same rut where we always do coming off of winter, and just, the first half of the season isn't a good. But, I mean, I can always promise those guys, and I'll promise everyone else, like I said, as soon as we get back to this, I mean, it's a fresh start for us. It's a fresh beginning. It's just the way it always has been for us. And it's a shame that it always starts so late. I swore it was going to be better this year, but honestly, it's all going to come back together, and we hope it's going to. I prepared myself more mentally, physically. I got Mark. I've been harassing him. He's been on turning wrenches on my bike for me. I've been harassing him lately. He knows where I should be. And like I said, it'd be awesome one time too. I mean, his whole team, the WFR team, Walker's been doing phenomenal. Drew's been doing great too, with him being a part of it. And then always the joke is always, well, it'd be great if, Andrew could make it a sweep of 3 classes in first. And I'm just like, Mark, you're asking a lot. But no, in reality, he knows what I can do. And I know it's going to happen, honestly. And I hope it does in this season. I hope it really does. I prepared myself a lot for it, and I hope it happens.
Great, man. That's great. Sounds like you're looking at this realistically. I mean, do you hope to be riding? Are we going to see you move up through the ranks someday? Are you going to go XC2? Are you going to go XC1 someday? Is that a plan of yours?
The dream has always been, even if it's just one race, or even if it's I crash in the first turn, it's always been to have the intro for the XC1. I've always wanted to. And we've always talked about, like I said, I think this year, I'm trying to think, I always forget that rule about the birthday and stuff like that. I think this is going to be my last year in College A, no matter what, even if I get another year in it, championship or not. If I decide with work next year, and for actually whenever we begin, if I can handpick some races, I definitely want to do XC2. I definitely want to be up there with those guys. It's just a way to learn. It's how you get faster, get out with the faster guys. But no, honestly, it's on the bucket list, and I can't wait to put the check on it to do the XC1 just one time, just one season, if I ever get that chance or opportunity to, or whatever. But
from East Palestine, Ohio,
yeah,
Andrew Banovsky.
Yeah, it'd be great. Honestly, I honestly, that's just something I've always thought about. It'd be honestly pretty sweet to be able to be a part of that for one time.
I can't, I look forward to it. I really do. I can't wait till the day that I get to say that, because I'm going to have a little bit of fun with it, I believe. And
yeah,
really,
it's already good enough whenever you yell the whole shot whenever I come through. Honestly, that's already good enough. Now
yeah, but I butchered your name so much over the years. You don't really get full credit for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I called you Banovsky or something like that for so many, but Banovsky. I can't believe how simple it is. You said it's more like Russian or something, I guess?
Yeah, it's pure Russian, Slovakian. That's what it is.
Banovsky. My name is Andrew Banovsky. If you ever get on the podium, I want you to talk. I am Andrew Banovsky.
Everyone's be looking at me like, what is up with this? And you'll know why I'm doing it, though.
Yeah. I will know. If I'm not interviewing you, it's poor old Mikey Wayne, he'll be like, where's this guy from?
What is
I'm from Slovakia, Russia.
Your
Whatever.
card says Ohio. Nope, nope, no.
No, no, no. That's just to fool you Americans. Chop it down. I'm going to get you. But you can see how stir crazy I am right now, Andrew. So,
Yeah.
so well, I tell you what, man, enjoy your darts with your dad tonight and enjoy that natural light or whatever it is that you're going to be sipping on and bench racing with him about. And anything else that you want to pass along before we let you go here today?
Just honestly, it feels like I'm getting nervy right now at the race. Just thanks for everyone that honestly ends up watching this. My family, Nana, Pap, my parents, Mark Notman, Walker, and all those guys, Ryan and BNR, all my friends, my wonderful loving girlfriend that's been through this the whole entire time. Just everyone that's been to the side, the GNCC crew, yourself, everyone just been able to keep this whole ball rolling through everything. Like I said, it's a great journey. It's always been a dream to be able to do this. I hope to do this again with you one day here soon. Honestly, do an update later in the season, see how it catches up. But like I said, it's just been like I said, anyone that's watching this and honestly wants to do the GNCC, don't do it, just go for it. Just do it. You won't regret it.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it. There's a class for everyone, right?
Yeah, there's always there is no excuses. There's no this. There's no that. There's nothing about your bike. It's they'll help you. It feels like a dragging out, but there's you go to another series, you'll get that too. It's just the sport is what I should say. But this series itself is someone sees you with a snap chain. Don't be surprised if someone runs up to you and says, "Hey, dude, I got to change the trailer. Let's throw this pig on. Let's go. Come on, keep it going." Hey, it's like that picture Walker had. That one broke. That one actually almost stretched a tear to your eye. I had snowshoe that year in the morning race. Someone broke a ball joint, and they came to Walker's pits, and Mark and Walker threw a new ball joint in, and the kid kept racing. What are the pro you going to see do that? That's just it's downright. It's just pure respect. It's just the way it is, and that's what you get in the sport, and that's especially what you get in this series. It's just the way it is.
Ain't nothing better, man. I'll tell you right now. Guys from all over the world. I did an interview with David Knight and Travis Pastrana the other day, and David holds the 2 years that he spent at GNCC and every time that he went on the track as high as any race that he's ever raced in. He puts as much importance, if not more importance, on it. He says that it's different than any other form of racing he's ever done. It was a tougher beast to tame than what he thought. And, Travis Pastrana, the same mindset, he's world renowned. Everybody knows him internationally, but GNCC is the one beast that he hasn't been able to tame. And,
that was great seeing him race that Florida race. That was awesome. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he did race in the amateurs. What was it, last year? I believe it was.
Last year.
But he actually came out.
His hands remember it. His hands remember that race. Believe me, his hands remember that race.
Yeah, he was talking about that too on the Behind the Bars episode that we did as well. I don't know if you've caught that off Racer TV or not, but check it out because it's a good one. It's episode 3. But we were talking about the Spartan GNCC from 2008. But Andrew,
awesome.
Buddy, really, really super, man. I'm glad that we got a chance to get acquainted. Like you said, we talk to a lot of the pros, and everybody knows who the pros are. But getting to know some of you not so recognizable people, we hear your names, we read your names, we know where you're at in the standings, but we don't know who you are. But now we do. Got a little better idea who Andrew Banovsky is. Any other things? You said thanks to everybody. You've given your shout outs. No parting shots.
It's great. It was awesome to be able to do this with you. And like I said, I've said it thousands of times. I hope to be able to do this again. I just hope we can kick this whole thing down, get things back to rolling to be normal. Like I said, everyone from Ohio, I'm pretty sure